Ian Poulter had some pretty strong words to say after his insane win over Kevin Na at LIV Golf Miami. The 46-year-old golfer also gave his opinions on Rory McIlroy's betrayal comments before going on to defend his involvement with the Saudi-backed LIV Golf. And apparently, Poulter thinks LIV has made a pretty cool contribution to the sport that the PGA hasn't. Stay tuned in today's video to get the whole scoop. First up, Poulter and Kevin Na get into it. Ian Poulter had a fairly productive weekend at LIV Golf's Miami Championship. The golfer was overjoyed after defeating Kevin Na in his singles match on day one of the team championship event in Miami. The two golfers had been going at it for days before the match and even got into a pretty tense exchange just before the weekend. But it was Poulter who had the last laugh. You see, the two athletes got into a little bit of a spat during the pre-tournament press conference. The whole thing got instigated when Na joked about Lee Westwood's age. Na said, "Lee's going to be on crutches. He's getting old. He needs a cane out there." Now, before anyone goes off and tries to put all the blame on Kev, we do have to say he has somewhat of a reputation for just joking around. Poulter jumped on his teammate's defense, saying, "My old man's been world #1 too." Things took an even uglier turn when the majestic captain was asked if he would walk some putts in. Poulter saw this as the perfect opportunity to throw a jab back at Na and criticized him for his slow play, saying that it could take him a while to walk a few in, it normally does. Yikes. That's a bit much over a joke that didn't even involve him, don't you think? Moving on, here's what Poulter had to say about his face-off. If you think criticizing his opponent's play was all he was gonna do, then you probably don't know Poulter very well. You see, the situation escalated when the Englishman came face-to-face with Na on the first day of the championship. Poulter had an outstanding showing on the course and eventually defeated Na in humiliating fashion at 4-2. Following his win, the golfer took the mic again and set the record straight one final time. He stated that once he drew first blood, he was determined to beat Kevin Na. Poulter continued that he didn't want to be down in the match and acknowledged that he was down early on before going on to gloat about how quickly he turned the game around. Say what you will about the guy, but he sure can golf. And if you thought he couldn't get any cockier, the Englishman then went on to say that he didn't care who he faced after defeating Na and that he would knock them down one by one. Poulter received $750,000 as a prize for making the semifinals. Meanwhile, Na and his teammates received $250,000 in prize money. Not to mention, here's what Na had to say in response. "We've already told you that this whole thing got triggered when Na commented on Lee Westwood's age, and we're guessing y'all must be wondering why he gave such an extreme response. Sure, Westwood's his teammate, but most people would agree that Poulter said a little too much. Now, don't get us wrong, we get knocking your opponent before a match, it's part of the sport, but outright making fun of someone's technique? Now that didn't sit right with many people, and we think the comments may have struck a nerve with Kev because he's been chastised for his allegedly slow play in the past. Just earlier this year, the American got into a Twitter feud with Grayson Murray. It all started when Murray responded to a tweet from Golf Channel's Chantel McCabe, which read, "Kevin Na walking in putts does not get old." Murray replied, "Kevin Na taking 3 minutes to putt them does get old." Now, Na didn't take the back-to-back insults very nicely. Na put out a tweet in response claiming that Murray missed the cut every time is getting even older. So, you see why Na would have taken the comments about his game personally. However, this time, he didn't let the emotions take over him and simply responded that at least he could play slower on purpose. This would have been a great comeback if Poulter hadn't said what he said next, but unfortunately for Na, the Englishman got the last laugh when he responded by saying that he doesn't think it's even possible to play any slower. Couldn't let Kev have any sort of edge, could you, Ian? Coming up, Poulter's reply to Rory McIlroy's betrayal comment. You see, Poulter's outburst at Na came during the same press conference in which the Englishman addressed Rory McIlroy's betrayal comments. The PGA Tour star stated that he felt betrayed by his Ryder Cup teammates who joined LIV Golf. And if you don't know already, Ian Poulter was one of them. McIlroy also noted that his relationships with his former teammates were severely damaged as a result of their actions. Following this, Poulter spoke out against the Irishman's remarks and claimed really offended by the statement and even questioned its legitimacy. Ian went on to explain that despite being a part of LIV, he was still fully committed to the Ryder Cup. The Englishman said that this was not a betrayal and that he and everyone else who Rory called out could still qualify for the team. Poulter also noted that he's willing to work as hard as possible to make that team, the golfer went even further and claimed that his commitment to the Ryder Cup comes even before himself. He wrapped things up by saying that he does not know why Rory and some of the other European players are putting out such statements. Moving on, can LIV Rebels actually play in the Ryder Cup? The short answer would be probably not. You see, it is largely assumed that Poulter, Sergio Garcia, Lee Westwood, and other LIV Rebels will never play in the Ryder Cup again. Rory McIlroy has stated unequivocally that the Ryder Cup should be LIV free, and a lot of other PGA stars share the same sentiments. So it seems unlikely that the tour will try to upset them over players that left them hanging high and dry over the Saudi-backed league. Also, we do have to consider the fact that the PGA Tour has banned the Rebels, who were denied a temporary restraining order and will not have their case heard in full until after the Ryder Cup in 2024. And while Poulter and buddies were granted a temporary abatement to suspensions and fines on the DP World Tour, with names like McIlroy, Jon Rahm, and Victor Hovland, and Matt Fitzpatrick in the mix, it doesn't look like they're making the cut. Following up, Ian Poulter defends LIV Golf. Ian Poulter has described how the Saudi-backed circuit has had a major impact on the world of golf. In recent months, LIV has sent shockwaves through the sport, and Poulter is one of the controversial stars who has signed on with the Saudi-backed series. The Ryder Cup veteran has competed in every LIV event since its inception and has represented the Majestics at every tournament in the series team side. Besides the traditional single competition, the Saudi-backed series includes a team element, with all 48 players divided into 4-player teams, and the 46-year-old golfer believes LIV Golf's team element has brought a cool change to the game. He explained that the whole aspect of following a team brings a level of excitement to a sport. He asked whether people support Formula One or if they support a particular race team like Red Bull or McLaren. Can't argue with that analogy. We agree that tribalism does make sports fun, and Poulter claims that LIV Golf's team format brings the same energy to golf. Viewers can support whatever team they like and root for them throughout the tournament. The Englishman claimed that the teams are already building solid fan bases across the globe and said that this was never a thing in golf before, and that's what makes LIV so groundbreaking. The golfer also showed a lot of optimism toward the future of the league, saying that he hopes LIV can continue to grow and build its global audience. Finally, let's talk about the OWGR drama. If you don't know, many players such as Jon Rahm, Ian Poulter, and Lee Westwood have criticized the new system, which replaces a strength of field system with one that uses modern statistical techniques to evaluate players more accurately. While speaking at the season-ending tournament at the Earth Course at Jumeirah Golf Estates, the DP World Tour chief, Pelly, set the record straight and explained that the system was studied by 4 independent research universities, and every single one of them concluded that the OWGR rankings didn't reflect the actual performance of the players worldwide. Pelly also claimed that he welcomes any sort of input from players about the system and that they'll keep tweaking it until it's perfect. That's a wrap for this video. Do you agree with Poulter's comments? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.